Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the simplest way to use AI to outrank your competitors on Amazon. What if I said to you that, you can use a crystal ball that could predict which keywords you'll actually rank for? Today, I'm thrilled to have Sean Stone, and he's going to give you an over-the-shoulder look into a custom GPT that he built that can do exactly that for you. I'd like to welcome Sean today. How's it going, Sean? Welcome, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Sean Stone's the founder of Stone's Goods. So they're an Amazon ads agency. They work with a number of seven-figure brands. And I was actually connected to Sean through our mutual friend Elizabeth Green, who also was a guest speaker on the podcast. And I was asking Elizabeth, who should I get on the podcast? And she said, you should get Sean on. He's doing some really cool stuff with custom GPTs. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Sean, could you give us an overview, like, who's the training for today and why is it so important right now?
So, this is a fairly broadly applicable topic. It's really for anyone who wants to understand ranking on Amazon. And specifically, it's for people who are trying to use Amazon advertising and maybe a combination of Amazon advertising and some kind of promotions, whether that's a deal or a Prime exclusive discount or something like that, to kind of use their promotional activities to grow their rankings. But really, what we've found over the years, and this happens a lot when we have an account audit, is we will look at somebody's account and they'll be trying really hard, spending tons of money to try to rank on some keyword. And sure, maybe it's a relevant keyword to their product, but when we look at that keyword, it takes us 45 seconds or less to tell them, hey, you're never going to rank for that keyword. And so really what we kind of did over time was we built this custom GPT so that people could kind of do the work that we would do on an audit without even having to talk to us. And really what it is taking a bunch of different data sources that Amazon doesn't naturally let you connect and using this GPT to blend all of them. And then from there, you're going to be able to see which keywords you're highly likely to be able to rank for and which ones you're maybe not very likely to rank for. And so that's really what this GPT is. So it's for anyone who really wants to plan out a ranking campaign. But ideally, this is better suited for bigger sellers who have the budget to try to rank.
Hmm.
And so anyone can use it. And just so everyone knows up front, custom GPTs don't give the maker of the custom GPT your data. I don't want your data. I'm not, I don't want that responsibility. Um,
Hmm.
but this is just something, this is a tool we made that is better than a calculator or better than an Excel sheet because Excel sheets break, but code won't break. So
Yeah.
if Amazon changes the report or moves a column along,
Yeah.
that would break an Excel sheet. But this custom GPT just for anybody to use.
Yeah. Yeah. And in our pre-call chat, Sean, I think one of the things that stood out to me is the fact that when this custom GPT goes through the data, it goes also through the search query performance report. And then one of the key metrics that a lot of sellers they're still overlooking today, I'm super surprised that they still are, is the conversion rate of your category, right? So it can
Mm-hmm.
literally identify, it can like benchmark your product's conversion rate against the category conversion rate, right? So if let's say the category is converting at like 10%, you're converting at 15%, that's like when the light bulb moment goes off, right? And then that's like, one of the, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's,
No,
it might, yeah,
I actually,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry I have to correct you because
yeah,
it does that. But the
yeah,
more important metric is it
yeah.
actually gives you your top competitors' conversion rate as well.
Mm,
So,
even better.
what if
Yeah,
you knew your top competitors' conversion rate?
yeah,
It's technically possible to calculate it. It's just
yeah,
very challenging
yeah.
and very irritating.
Nice.
And
Well,
so that's part
yeah,
of what this does. Yeah.
excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, I know we got a lot to cover today. And before we dive into this, if you do want to follow along, Sean has very generously offered this custom GPT for free. So we'll put the link below in the description if you want to follow along. So we'll give you a moment to do that. So for those of you guys watching, Sean, without further ado, would you like to share your screen? He's going to give you an
Yeah.
over-the-shoulder walkthrough of exactly how this works.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to click through a bunch of these things, but the way you get here is you go to stonesgoods.com. Stones is plural, goods is plural. If I could rename my business back, I probably wouldn't call it Stones Goods because
Hmm.
making things plural is confusing. But yeah, stonesgoods.com. Go to resources and then conversion benchmark buddy. So you just open that up in a new tab. It looks like this. So then this is the page that explains conversion benchmark buddy. Then we've got the steps, including this tells you all of the types of reports you need. And then as you go down, you just click on this right here, and boom, you're now at a custom GPT. So
So the
I'm going
name
to
of the
assume that
custom GPT is what again?
conversion benchmark buddy by Stones Goods. Um,
Oh,
Now, you can theoretically find this on the GPT store, but it's kind of hard. And so that's why we recommend just going to our website. It's not because we're getting knockoffs of this. It's just the GPT store is not very searchable. Like
yeah.
if you make one spelling mistake or if you forget something, then it's all impossible to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what it looks like. And so
Hmm.
we need 4 reports. The brand analytics top search term reports. So that's the first one we need. Then we need search query performance report. Then we need sponsored product search term report. And ideally, you'll filter this. And then finally, you need a Helium 10 Cerebro report. And so you want all of these for the product in question. This web page with the instructions tells you how to do everything, but I'm just going to assume that you read the instructions, you understand how to do it. So then all you have to do, you don't even need to put any text in, is you just come in and you get those 4 reports. So I went and I got these reports in advance of our call. Um, and so I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, and I've got this. And I hit open. And then,
Sean, can I just help the audience better understand? So with these four reports, I bel-
mhm,
for the first three, I believe you get from Seller Central, right? And then,
yes.
okay. So the first three, the brand analytics, top search terms, the search query performance report, and sponsor product search term report you get from Seller Central. And the fourth one you get from Helium 10. So for those of you that are not using Helium 10, we do have a link where you guys can get a discount. I am an affiliate. If you do sign up through me, I do get a small commission. It pays for my coffee. Love coffee and would appreciate that. But just saying, that's where you get the Helium 10 report. All right, cool, good
Yeah.
stuff. Let's keep going.
And if you want to try this before you buy Helium 10, I think you can get 2 free Cerebro reports per day or something. I don't know. It's I've had a paid
That's
Helium
right.
10
That's
account
right.
since
There
2017.
is a free
But yeah,
trial. So the link that
yeah.
we'll have below that will give
Mhm.
you a free trial. And Sean's exactly right. There's a limit as to how many like reports you can run. And I think you can get it for free. So yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
But again, I really wanted to be clear, like this is entirely free. Like just I wanted to provide value. That's all. And
Perfect.
so here we go. Now this is going to be analyzing, and it's going to spit out a report at some point. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut to the chase. I already have the report. So this is what that report looks like. Now, normally in column A and in column I, there will be text. But because this is real live client data, I have made all the text white so that you can't see it. um, and so because of that, I'm gonna show you how to use the data that you get as an output, but I'm not going to show you the search terms. So sorry about that. It's just I need to protect my client's data. So column I and column A are hidden, but we're gonna just like column A is the first column, and so what we're looking at right now is just the main output. And we've got a bunch of different columns here. So column A was search term. B was clicks total count, which comes from search query performance. C is purchases total count, which comes from search query performance. D is Helium 10 organic rank. E is our sponsored products clicks. F is sponsored products orders. G is sponsored product spend. H is sponsored product sales. And then I is the top competitor that we're comparing ourselves to. J is their click share, the top competitor's click share. K is the top competitor's conversion share. L is top competitor's clicks. So we do some math and calculate their clicks. M is the top competitor's sales, so like orders. And then N is our sponsored products conversion rate, which is F divided by E. O is our top competitor's conversion rate. So this is where we know our competitor's conversion rate. Column O, how juicy is that? I can tell you with relative certainty that if your advertising conversion rate is much higher than your top competitor's conversion rate, there's a good chance you can rank on this keyword. And then P is, like you said, the conversion rate for the keyword. So I thought it was important to get the definitions taken care of before we go any further. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I just like to clarify, Sean, the top competitors conversion rate, is that the number one competitor, or is that like the average? Like, what can you break that down for us?
So in the brand analytics top search term report,
Hmm.
um, what you get is the top three most clicked ASINs. So what we're looking at is the ASIN with the most clicks for this time period,
Hmm.
and we're saying what's their competitor or what's their conversion rate. Now,
Mm.
generally speaking, and it's not always the case, but I would say 9 times out of 10, the
Hmm.
ASIN that gets the most clicks is also the one that has the most sales, or if not the most sales, then the second most sales.
Hmm.
And then if that's the case, then they usually have a very solid conversion rate. So
Yeah.
they
Okay.
usually have a solid ranking,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how we, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So step one is we uploaded the four reports, and then the custom GPT, it will spit out this report that gives you the top competitors' conversion rates, and this way you can benchmark
Hmm.
yours against theirs. I'm just looking at the report. It looks like
Hmm.
in row two, it looks like our conversion rate is what, 39.84% for sponsored ads,
Yep.
whereas the
Hmm.
top competitors' conversion rate is only 18.01%. Is that right?
Hmm.
And then
That's correct.
the keyword conversion rate of the competitor is 16.81%. So that means that our conversion rate for the sponsored ads is more than double. It's like two times higher the competitors, right? And then this,
Yep.
how much search volume is how many clicks are we talking about for this particular?
So this keyword in the last or yeah in last week has 3,082 clicks and 518 purchases according to the Search
Mm,
Query Performance Report,
mm,
and we are currently organically ranked second place on this keyword.
mm. Okay.
So as you can see, you can pretty
Yeah.
quickly draw a correlation that if
Yeah.
you have a really really solid conversion rate and it's
Yeah.
better than the competition,
Yeah.
you could probably rank on this keyword.
Yeah. So what will we do next?
Okay, so there are a bunch of different things you can use this for.
Hmm.
Now, I personally I use this to look at where do I have the biggest ranking opportunities. And so now that we're number two, and I just because I know what keyword this is or what search term this is
Hmm.
our top search term. We're organically ranked at the top of the page for our main search term. There's one other company that has they just have way more sales than us, so there's
Hmm.
not really a lot we can do there.
Hmm.
But if the here are some of the ways I like to use this. So first thing I like to do is sort clicks high to low, and just see if there are any search terms with a lot of clicks that maybe we're on the first page for, but we're not at the top of the page. Um, and so really what I'm looking for here is like, is there something like we're second. Here we're 34th. I don't know if that's so close. What I'm really looking for is, 15 and up. So we've got a sixth place organic right here. And so on row 23, there's 580 sales and 1,684 clicks. So a pretty nice volume keyword. And
Mhm.
then if we come over here, the sponsored products conversion rate is 35.85%. Our top competitors' conversion rate's 34.26%. And then the keyword level conversion rate's 34.44%. So we're converting right at the market level. Um, so this is one that I might consider going after. We like maybe because something that's important to note when you're ranking products on Amazon, um, the difference between, call it fifth, sixth, seventh place and first through fourth
Yeah.
is substantial.
Yeah.
Often it's very substantial.
Yeah.
And because our conversion rate's holding up to the competitors' conversion rates,
Hmm.
what it tells me is we could spend more money here and potentially break into the top five or top four. Now, obviously, I wouldn't do this blindly. I would go look and see if there were opportunities. So, for example, if everyone who's got a better organic rank than you is half your price, I would not go after this keyword. It's just not a good use of your money.
Hmm.
Or alternatively, if everyone in on this keyword is actually way worse than you, then conversely, you could really start to go after this keyword.
What
But
do you
that's
mean by
something I would
worse?
do.
Like in terms of reviews or like what do you mean?
Worse reviews, much higher price, ugly
Mm.
photos,
Mm.
like that
Mm.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the data first approach, which should kick off a series of other steps before you start just spending money aggressively on a keyword.
Hmm.
But the hardest thing to do is to kind of sift through this data. So that's why we made this GPT. Um, you can take a lot of pretty logical steps and figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
so an another thing we like to do is we like to sort by advertising orders because sometimes what we'll find is we'll be getting a lot of orders on a keyword, but still have almost no ranking. So like our fourth highest keyword right here, we're organically ranked 44. Kind of seems like not that good of a use of money. But for this keyword, our ACOS, so I'm just going to calculate ACOS, is 24%. So that's allowable. But imagine you had a campaign for this keyword and it's your fourth highest ordered keyword, but you're only ranked organically 44th. And then you look over here and your conversion rate is higher. Now, realistically, what this is a category keyword. I can tell just from looking at this data because I look at it so often.
Hmm.
This is a category keyword. And so what's happening here is for example, if you're selling like pool noodles, for example, this search term would be like uh, beach supplies. That's like an example of a category keyword.
Hmm.
And if all the other beach supplies are things like sunscreen that have half the price of your pool noodles, then you're never going to rank at the top of the page. Um, so
Sorry,
that's what's
Sean.
happening here.
Pardon my ignorance. What is a pool noodle?
Uh, so you get into a pool and you want something to float on. So there's
Yeah.
these long things made of foam and you sit on them. And
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like that big, like long foam.
yeah,
Big. Okay. Okay.
yeah, it's like
Got it.
big foam
Got it.
spaghetti.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Got
that's
it.
called a
Got it.
pool noodle.
Okay. I learned something
Yeah.
new today. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, that's another way you can look. So you can filter by clicks, you can filter by purchases, you can filter by your advertising orders. And then another thing we really like to do is filter by our conversion rate. And then, so filter by conversion rate and then orders greater than, say, three. And the reason we like to look for this is what if there are keywords with really, really outsized performance? And maybe we'll do like clicks greater than 10. because and so right here, this keyword, we've got 7 clicks, or sorry, 7 orders on 14 clicks. Now it's not a huge keyword, but that's still a pretty like that's a pretty insane conversion
Yeah,
rate. We're getting a
50%
50% conversion
conversion.
rate.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then, you know, we already looked at this 100 sale keyword, but this 14 on 34, that's a 41% conversion rate. But that might actually be a branded term because it has no search volume. So that could be what's happening there, but it's definitely something worth investigating. And then yeah, we just look top down, like how are we doing on all these different keywords? Because if you have a product that's getting a 40% conversion rate from advertising, you should try to take advantage of it. And so these are the kinds of things that we highly, highly, highly recommend is take a look at where the volume is, and then take a look at where your advantage is. Um, and then, yeah, the only other thing you could do is you could also filter um, by top competitor clicks and do that. But usually this will mirror column B. Um, so to recap, what we're looking for here are, oh, and I didn't say this, but you also want to filter ascending for keywords that you have good organic rank on. Oh, of course, this is not working right now. But yeah, keywords where you have a like a really solid ranking. Really, what you're looking for here is like where are the keywords where we're not in the top 5, but we're close. So if I look at this keyword right here, where it's got 713 clicks and 213 purchases, and we have a 42% conversion rate on it,
Hmm.
and we're currently ranked 15th, I would try to get us up into the top 5 with a conversion rate that high because clearly there's good, like good opportunity, good prizes to be won.
Yeah,
So
that makes
those are the
sense.
5 ways I would use this.
Okay. And what do you do next? So we got the crystal ball. It gave us the keywords that we have good potential. What's next?
So what's next is taking these keywords and isolating them in your advertising. We like to do single keyword campaigns in either exact match or in phrase match. Um, and so we would go to Amazon and we'd create single keyword campaigns for these keywords where we've identified that we have an edge
Hmm.
and we've identified that there's good volume and good opportunity. And so once we've done that, we go to Amazon, we take these keywords, we make single keyword campaigns, and then we would isolate for match type and then also by placement. So it's important to remember that if you have good, like if you can have different performance on different pages on Amazon. So at the very top of the search results, you can pay to put your product there, but then and that's usually where you'll have the highest conversion rate. But then in the middle of the page, you might be able to get cheaper clicks and get lots of sales there too. And then on product pages, you want to have cheaper clicks there because you're going to have a lower conversion rate, but you can still get good volume and scale. And so that's the way that I would recommend you kind of work through these. And then we have a horrible acronym for this, but it's BKIT. Uh, benchmark, compare, isolate, and track. BCIT. So that's the terrible acronym for the very effective process that we have.
But kids.
Does that
Okay.
make sense? Yeah, BKIT.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that stood out to me is so after you have these like the crystal ball keywords, and then next you're going
Mm-hmm.
to create single word keyword campaigns ads, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
with the different real estate areas on the the SERP page, so you have top of search, highest
Yep.
cost, highest CPC, most expensive. Middle page, cheaper clicks, still can get a lot of sales. Product pages,
Mm-hmm.
cheaper clicks, lower conversion rates, still can get good volume. How do you
Mm-hmm.
decide where to put what? What, where?
Um, so you have to factor in your budget, which is why in the beginning I was talking about having like this is a better idea for people who are maybe um, have a little bit more capital to work with.
Yeah.
But then
How much budget
if
are we
you,
talking about?
well, it depends on the keyword,
Yeah.
because just because you have a good conversion rate, like doesn't mean that you can't like you'll still need to spend a lot of money to get yourself up the page. And
Hmm.
so the thing we generally recommend you do is choose a budget that you're comfortable with, and then test all three placements, and then optimize the placements for conversion rate. Because again, optimizing for ACoS doesn't really make sense when you're trying to rank a product
Yeah.
because Amazon rewards conversion rate more than it rewards good ACoS. And so generally, you want to choose a budget that makes sense for you, and then based on that budget, get as many sales at the highest converting place that you can. Now, sometimes that's top of search. Generally, I would say 80% of the time it's top of search. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's rest of search. Like sometimes it's the middle of the page where you get all your sales. And
Mm.
so it's important to just experiment and
Yeah.
see where you'll get your best results.
I see. I see. Did you have a case study to share that we can kind of see about, how to rank and how you took a product? There was a pretty amazing case study we were talking about, recently.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share my screen again.
Yeah,
Um,
go for it.
uh, so this was pretty exciting. Basically, a company came to us well, at the end of January, but basically we started working with them February 1st. And what happened was February 1st through April 30th, we grew their sales by 70, basically 80%, grew their net profit by 169%. And a lot of it just came down to taking the principles we just showed you and applying them on their account. So what did we do? Basically, we came in and oh, this is just a graphical representation, but here's a screenshot from their account. Um, they were kind of hovering fifth, sixth, seventh place. And then by the end of our ranking implementation, they were second or third or fourth on all their major keywords. But this keyword and this keyword had a huge amount of sales volume. And so we really, really, really leaned into those two keywords. And so actually, in the last little while, we had to turn off all advertising on this product because they just ran out of stock, even
Mm.
though it has a really short replenishment cycle. And so, really, the main thing that we did was we took the principles we just talked about and we recognized that these two keywords right here were
Mm.
just wide open opportunities. And so
Mm.
these are the same two keywords right here. So they started fifth place and they started sixth place when we started tracking. And honestly, I wish I'd started tracking sooner because, when we originally did this analysis, they were probably eighth or ninth. And yeah, we just watched them fly up the page on two of their major keywords. And then we were able to replicate it over and over again on their catalog
Mm.
because this account just happens to have a lot of keywords with just really, really great outsized conversion rates compared to their competition. So,
Mm.
anyways, long story short, this process works. It got one of our clients a huge amount of money. It's working for a bunch of our other clients. We just haven't had time to make more case studies. Um, but yeah, long story short, this is doing fantastic for a number of different accounts. And so yeah, they added 400K in sales, 169% in profit, and they did it while actually expanding their margins instead of hurting their margins. So like
How
we
are they
use
able
this
to
process.
to increase margin by 48.6%?
So like I'm just like I'm trying to get it. Like there was a bunch of things, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to condense it as much as possible so
sure,
that I don't
sure.
talk to you for like an hour straight.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
the main way that we were able to condense their margins is we actually used this process because it was very similar to this. This was actually a different account.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is another account that's just absolutely crushing it.
Hmm.
But what we did for this account in particular was we started running deals. Um, and you might be saying, how did that help your margins? But what we were able to do once we started running deals and once we started running really aggressive single keyword campaigns
Hmm.
is we realized that we were able to cut 60% of the ad spend on the other campaigns inside of the account. And then more recently, um, so the product in this case study is actually down to 10% tacos now. It was at like 17 when we started, and it was selling way less. But what we ended up doing was we ended up using deals plus really strategic ranking campaigns. And those two things together with like really good focus and really knowing which keywords to spend that money on
Hmm.
drove a huge amount of growth inside of their account.
Mm.
And it's something that we've done for a bunch of companies, because once you've taken our magic ball
Yeah.
or our crystal ball and
Yeah.
said which keywords can I rank on, and it just shows you,
Yeah.
um, it really demystifies ranking.
Yeah.
And it also, if you, I guess the one thing we didn't say is if you look at the ranking report and you don't have any keywords that you can rank on, you should do some conversion rate optimization. And we could probably do a full
Mm.
45-minute talk on
Yeah.
that too. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that we've been able to achieve with this. We actually have an even more drastic case study where we got somebody 80K profit in 30 days. But
Wow.
it feels a little bit like cheating because it was December of 2023. Like I
Mm.
said, we haven't had time to make more case studies.
Yeah.
But we
When you
in
say December
January,
2023, it's because of the Q4 bump, or why do you say this feels like cheating?
yeah, so November 2023, they had Black Friday and Cyber Monday in November. And
Right.
then in December, we did pretty well. Like we are able to take big advantage or full advantage of the December traffic,
Hmm.
but they were wasting a lot of money on ad spend, which led to a decline in profit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
80K in profit from November to December. But then we were able to keep a lot of those profits going into January, which is
Mm.
what really meant a lot to us. Is just like because these products had more of a Q4 bump. They weren't like Q1 products. Like these aren't supplements.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and so yeah, we have this process. We call it the pair process, PAIR, and you just kind of optimize these things because they're the things that really have an outsized impact on the rest of your account. Like if you just focus on advertising, you're only focusing on a quarter of the things that could be really getting you some amazing results. And yeah, this is like a helium 10 ranking shot we took. So yeah, long story short, there's a lot of things we did,
Hmm.
but these are the kinds of things that you can really pull off if you lean into finding your ranking or finding the keywords that are rankable for you, and then using the playbook that makes sense to rank for keywords on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So we're almost out of time. Sean, let's as we wrap up, what what products or what situations would you not use this for? I'm curious.
Um, so there are a few. I would if I had a really expensive product that had no chance at ranking, I would use this. Although it's important to note that I can tell pretty quickly if a product's going to rank or not, just without even looking at ranking data, just by like looking at the product and then searching the main keyword.
Hmm.
But if you are not sure if the product can rank or not, then I still would use this. I mean,
Hmm.
it does take some time, but if you have a virtual assistant, you can ask them to do it. Like the SOP is set up for that. And then we also even have a YouTube video where we show people how to do this.
Hmm.
Another thing I wouldn't use it for is low search volume products. So like if you have a product that just doesn't have a lot of search volume and it's just kind of like sitting on Amazon because you want to sell units slow and steady,
Yeah.
this is really not a good fit because what are you going to do? Like
Yeah.
you're going to rank for no search
How,
volume.
what could you put a number around that, like low search volume?
Um, Main keyword has less than 500 searches a month, according to Helium 10.
Okay.
And then last one is I wouldn't use this for products that rely like on branded search because that's usually a sign that you can't rank using non-branded spend.
Yeah.
And like trying to spend money to rank on branded keywords is a bit of a waste because you should be able to rank there anyway because you're the most relevant product for that keyword. So
Yeah. Makes sense.
that's the way I see it.
Okay. Excellent. And
Yeah.
does this work for international marketplaces as well?
Um, I'll be honest, I haven't really tried much, but
Okay.
I think I used it on Canada once or twice.
Hmm.
If it doesn't work, what you'll probably need to do is go into Excel and Command F and remove the currency uh, symbol from the international marketplace. So the Japanese yen symbol, if you can remove that from your Excel sheet, that will make
Okay.
it work. And then for like, because I think I used this for Canada once, and they put CAD. So if you
Right.
get rid of the CAD, and then it works.
Okay. So in
Or
other
The
words,
British pound symbol.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in other words, before you upload the worksheets, you should remove any currency symbol, whether it's like Japanese yen or like euro or like GBP, like pound, etc. Right? Just like the raw
Yeah.
numbers.
And
Okay.
dollar sign works still. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Again,
Okay.
I made this with the US market in mind. So
Right.
I know
Right.
a lot of your audience is Japanese, and I apologize.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have a
If
global audience, and there are sellers in in Japan as well. But I'm just curious. Okay, excellent.
yeah,
That was great overview, Sean. For people that want to connect with you to learn more and also to get the custom GPT, how can they do that?
yeah. So they can go to stonesgoods.com. I mean, it's we're easy to find. If you want, I can also even you can just message me on LinkedIn, and I'll give it to you. Yeah, you can try to find it in the Custom GPT App Store, although I don't recommend that just
Yeah,
because I've had such a hard time with it.
yeah. I don't recommend
Um,
that either. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So,
and
mhm.
yeah,
All right, excellent. And
yeah. If you,
yeah.
I guess the last thing I'll say is, yeah, well, I run an ad agency called Stones Goods. If you
Hmm.
want to learn more about us, reach out. I'm easy to talk. I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, or you can go
Hmm.
to our website. We're easy to contact there. And yeah, I hope that this was really valuable for anyone who's listening.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean. I highly recommend you guys check out the custom GPT, I call it like the crystal ball, the crystal ball method, right? For the keywords, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to think of a catchy name for that. But excellent. Highly recommend that you connect with Sean as well, LinkedIn or stonesgoods.com to learn more. And if you guys do implement this, definitely either comment below or let us know and reach out to Sean. Let us know what kind of results you get. All right. Thanks so much, Sean. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you at the next session. Bye, everybody.